Season 35. Season 35. Season 35. Season 35. First clock, same crown. Still have to range down when it's sight. Holy gunning every night. Repeat talk every show. Everybody wants that home. History knocking at the door. Nobody done this before. Every snap, every drive, every week on the line. Rectors reset. Expectations don't. You either match it or you won't.
Beat jobs hard.
Cause game day, no delay, prove it now, make it play, season play, 35, new one, chasing one and stopping one, NDL, game day.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Penguin, Hubbard, and Pat. NDL Game Day Saturday morning. We're an hour earlier. Well, we're about a half hour earlier with the late start here. This is Lick. We have a special guest on the show later today. Someone played in a conference championship game. We're heading into conference championship weekend. I know we had a couple of the games get played a little early. But, man, what are you guys up to this weekend? It's starting to get spring weather and stuff like that down south here. Hubbard, what are you up to this weekend?
Man, so I told you guys I sent a picture in the group chat. I actually came and watched the Rangers last night. First time that I've done that this season. I actually didn't go to a game last year either. So came up and watched the Rangers last night. Going to drive back home. And you guys know this. I got selected to coach in an all-star game. That game's tonight. So I got to drive back home and get ready for that tonight. So busy weekend for us, but glad to be with you guys a little earlier today.
Awesome, man. What about you, Penguin? What are you up to today?
Just getting farm life and stuff done before the rain, pulling weeds, and the last day the bookstore is open in its present location before we have a flurry of activity, getting everything moved over. And, God willing, next time you all see me on one of these things, I will be in different surroundings of some aspect. It might be books behind me. I might have no books around me, might have my own room. We'll see.
That's what we keep hearing. I'm excited to see it. Library setup. I know you never asked me, Tim, but yeah.
Pat, how are you doing today?
Just the usual day. Like I told you boys, drinking one of these THC seltzers. Like I said, no alcohol in it, but it's got 15 milligrams of THC in it. So 10-4. If anyone's never had one, they're delightful. That's all I got.
What brand is it? Like, what does it say? It just, I know you said Celsius.
No. It said tastes like an orange Celsius,
okay.
But my dispensary's name is Apoteca, so it's just their brand. I don't know. Yeah.
Serious question: do you have to buy that at a dispensary, or can you buy it in a liquor store? Where do you get it at?
So you can get them at the dispensary, but they do serve them at like bars out here.
Okay, so not like you can't go to Walmart and get one.
No, you can't. But I think they sell them at some. They don't have liquor stores in North Carolina. They have ABC stores, and then the gas stations only can sell beer and wine. You have to go to like a state regulated store to get liquor. It's bizarre.
Nice.
In
Texas, we just hand them out at recess in the playground and stuff.
The plus side to that is you get state regulated prices and stuff isn't gouged in like $30, $40, $50, $100 more than MSRP. So you at least got that going for you.
Oh, yeah, but see, Penguin, I noticed at our grocery stores in California, so like in Albertsons or whatever, the alcohol is way cheaper out in California than it is at one of these ABC stores. Like a handle of Maker's Mark in California at Albertsons is probably $38. Out here, it's like $50. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably those extra taxes.
Yeah, beats the shit out of me.
Yeah, so we can't buy liquor in grocery stores here. Beer, yeah, wine, but not.
Oh, okay. So it's the same thing out here then. Yeah, you can't buy. You can only go to these regulated stores to get liquor. It's fucking bizarre. Excuse my language. You can go to Kroger where I'm from and just walk in and they just got it all over the place.
Yeah, I would venture to say our liquor stores are not very regulated if you've been in any of them, but they're a little different. They're a little different.
Yeah, well, hey, we got a big show today. We always hit on the polls, top 25 media and the regular polls. Obviously I know the blocks were closing last night. I know I was visiting with Rain. He's kind of the one in charge of doing the sims and stuff for the season. He went on and simmed some of the games that mattered for conference championship games. Man, this year it seemed like almost every conference went to tiebreakers, like the third, fourth tiebreaker in the conference. And so with the blocks closing and stuff, we'll just go really quick here. Penguin, we'll let you be up first here. Is there anything about the polls that's like doesn't make any sense, a head scratch or anything like that?
That doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, I know I take them a little more seriously than your average bear. So, but I say stuff like putting Boise in the rankings, frankly, I think is kind of silly because sure they won 10 games, but I mean, look at who they've played versus other teams with 9 and 8 wins this season. I just think that's kind of ridiculous. Outside of that, for the most part, while my poll looks quite different, I don't really have too much beef with the polls overall after that. I do find it funny and amusing to me that despite all the ranting against Ohio State is still firmly entrenched at number one, first despite the growing consensus by many people that that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone else?
Jeremy?
Yeah, just looking at it, I would say this: there's a couple of teams ranked in the media poll, right, that I don't know about, like A&M still being in there, right? A 2-loss ULM being in there, and a bad loss, by the way, to Louisiana, right? So, I don't know. I mean, you guys brought up the Ohio State Texas thing. I just want to give my flowers to the Big 12 as well. I've been kind of harsh on the Big 12, but those three guys, Smitty, CJG, right, at BYU, and MC, man, what a year they're putting together with those three teams, and they're a lot better off than the Big 12 was maybe at this point last year.
Yeah, like Penguin said and Jeremy, little corporate jargon to piggyback. There's really nothing that stands out outside of I don't understand why Georgia's ranked so low. I mean, I don't get it. I think the full resume body of work is better than Notre Dame. He's in one poll, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots behind a team that he beats in the coaches poll. So that's a little strange. So that's the outlier for sure. I think he is one of the few people that actually have a chance of winning it all in this league right now. So I think that's a strange one. And then seeing ULM in the rankings in the coaches poll, I don't understand. I just don't get it. That's just people not paying attention. So anyway, those are the two that stand out to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the Georgia one. I completely agree on that point there.
I just don't. I don't get it. Is it because he didn't make the conference championship game? I don't understand.
Are you talking about his loss versus Ole Miss?
He beat Ole Miss.
No, I meant his win. Are you talking about? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. He's like 5 points behind Ole Miss. I don't understand.
I think that
I got one more to.
The argument may be made that he has 2 conference losses, 2 overall losses, and then Ole Miss just has 1.
Yeah, but
look,
I wouldn't be 5. I wouldn't have them 5 spots.
I agree with you. I think I have them like 1 or 2 spots behind each other, but I did take that extra loss into consideration. It wasn't a common opponent, but it was an extra. If it would have been a non-conference for me, voting, I think I said this to you guys last week, is if it would have been an out-of-conference loss, like for Georgia, right? Like he played a really tough opponent and lost, I may not have put as much weight on that as a conference loss. Having 2 of them as opposed to 1 was kind of the difference maker. And that game was close, too, and it was at Georgia. 7-point loss at Georgia. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at my ranking. I do have them 3 spots apart, but now kind of looking at it, I would have probably put them closer together. It's just the way I see, just an eye test thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, if you're talking about the eye test, though, you got to look at what they did against Texas too. I mean, he had Texas beat. Texas has to come back and do it. And
Yeah.
Jimmy's a great player, whatever.
Went for 2, right, to get the
Went for
the
2 to
win.
win
Yeah.
it. I mean, I'm just going to say that I think that I have Georgia. I mean, I did put the Big 12 teams ahead of Georgia and Ole Miss just because of the one losses, right? They've kind of gone back and forth with each other. Then to me, you got to have Georgia ahead of Ole Miss. I told you guys this in the chat this week. If you lose to Texas or Ohio State, I don't really count that against you at this point, especially if it's a game like Georgia and Texas. So
Mhm.
it's just kind of a weird thing. I know people value different things. Ole Miss, the one loss versus Georgia with a 2. I get all that,
Mhm.
but somebody brought this up. And listen, I'm an RB fan, right, in terms of what he's done this season. But Notre Dame being ahead of Georgia too is kind of hard. It's like I don't know if I get that one either. I just
Yep.
think Georgia. You mentioned it, Pat. He's a team that can win. Like he's one of the handful of teams that can win the whole thing. Way too
Absolutely.
low. The other
Yeah.
team too low is Wake Forest. Wake Forest
Yeah.
is too low. Like they should not be behind basically 4 G5 teams. If you look at the fact that they're behind, UConn, Central Michigan, ULM, Jacksonville State. That's a potential CFP team.
Should Wake Forest be behind any ACC teams?
Well,
Yeah, right. They're the number 1 seed in the conference. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I mean,
Penguin.
sure, they have one more loss than others, but show me who's done something that really deserves to be higher than them.
And obviously, we've hit on it before. If Wake doesn't play the out of conference schedule that he played, he doesn't probably have 3 losses this season.
correct.
I mean, he played Old Miss. He played BYU. In the BYU game was it was a 3-point game. It was a close game. That BYU game. He doesn't play those games. He potentially only has 1 loss. And we're talking about a Wake Forest team probably up in the top 10, right? I mean, as opposed to fighting for his life, right? Like he brought up, and I think he's in the chat right now, and he'll be on the show later today. Sergeant Lingus is that he's behind the Central Michigan right now. Obviously, Miami's up there too, and so I think that win would potentially move him up in the polls, right? But
I mean, we always talk about that doomsday scenario where you get 2 G5s in there. I mean, we'll see what the CFP rankings look like later. But if JMU wins their conference, CMU wins their conference, and Wake wins their conference, according to the coaches poll, you get JMU and CMU in.
Yeah.
Ugh, just a nightmare situation.
Yeah. Look, we don't know. The CFP rankings may be completely different, but just looking out off the top, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Miami. No offense to our guests later, but
right.
I can't see 2 G5s in there. I just can't do it. Had to do it in real life, and it was terrible.
It was awful.
One thing that skews this a little too, you got a team like Maryland looking at this, sitting at 14 in both polls. Well, sure, they won 10 games, but you got I think they're almost, I dare say, 5 to 10 spots too high when you look at the teams behind them and compare the body of work. So, I mean, that kind of skews stuff a bit as well.
Well, and you got Stanford in there who's,
there's another personal opinion there. You can, but is it, I mean, speaking for myself, as a team that's not eligible for postseason consideration, I left them on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, I did have them ranked because I think they're one of the top 25 teams. But when you're pushing everybody up a spot, right? If you're looking at just from a CFP standpoint, you got to push everybody else up, which doesn't really help anybody that we think is on the edge.
Yeah, my point is there's so many teams worth consideration. If you've got a team that is not part of the conversation, then I mean it's not a vendetta or personal anything, but yeah, they fall down the list for me then that I just move them out of the way and put someone else in instead.
I'll be labeled a hater. Too many G5s. Too many G5s.
Yeah, you start getting to the point. You start getting to the point in the polls where some people just have a reflection of wins, losses. Really, as opposed to the conferences that they play in the weight of the schedules and stuff that people are playing.
Sorry, guys, wasn't reading my Twitch. Okay, here we go. Let's move on. When Pat said that, I was like, "Oh, I probably should be reading this." Okay, let's talk about the CFP. Okay, now last week we did this and we were kind of off, right? Because the 25th team doesn't get shown here; it'll get shown at the end when we show the full top 25. So we're going to start at the back end. We're going to go 24 to 20 again, right, Tim? That's how you have it in there, 24 to 20. And let's start here at the bottom with team number 24 and see who we have in there. These teams probably are a long way away from getting to the playoff. But I guess crazier things have happened, right? Let's see here what we got. At number 24, we have Vanderbilt. All that finesse in Vanderbilt. Now he's made a lot. He's done a lot of politicking, right, in a live chat. But he sits at 24. Means, I mean, I don't blame him, right? Like everybody does it. Might as well jump in. But he's a long way away. Number 23 in the rankings is Wake Forest. See, we'll talk about it, I'm sure. Still way too low for the Demon Deacons. 22.
Insane.
Yeah, is Maryland. And just to be honest, Penguin, your point, to be behind Maryland here, I don't agree with that either. Number 21 in the rankings is Miami. Wow. So the ACC contenders, this could get interesting. We'll keep going, but we're in that dangerous 2G5 spot, Pat. Number 20 is Indy. Oh, Pat, and the Hoosiers. So what we're saying, Pat, is you have a higher chance right now of making the CFP than everybody below you. I don't know. Anyway, no offense, but doesn't make sense. Okay, let's go number 19. Number 19 is Penn State, a team that Indiana did lose to. So Andy, who's had a good year, right, in at number 19. All right, moving along, we'll go down to number 18. And 18 is Central Michigan. Okay, so this is interesting, guys. If you guys want to stop here, we'll talk about it. Chip is the. I mean, obviously we think JMU is going to be ahead of him here. So Chip at 18, Miami and Wake at 21 and 23. Like, do we get a situation here, Pat? It's real at this point. If CMU wins, does Miami or Wake do enough to jump over that spot?
I would absolutely think so. Yeah. It's a top 25 matchup. And that'll be one of those quad one wins we talk about. And it should most certainly, I mean, a full ACC schedule. The ACC was pretty strong this year. Should get in over a team from the MAC. I just, you know what I mean? It's just my opinion on it.
Penguin, here's what it looks like to me, though, is if you think they're better, why aren't they ranked ahead of them right now, Penguin?
Of which, here, rephrase the question. Of who?
I mean, if you're talking about Miami and Wake, and if they could jump them if they win, why in the world are they not ahead of them now? Like what?
Oh, the only part of this 18 through 24 that makes sense to me is Penn State in front of Indiana.
Yeah.
None of the rest of this is reasonable in my mind. I think both Miami and Wake should they both should be higher than 18, both of them.
I mean, it just seems it's a real possibility, right? I mean, listen.
Hey, hold on.
Go ahead.
I think these are last week's rankings.
Yeah, those are definitely not correct. From what the CFP sent us this morning, this is not matching, and I'm freaking out right now. Sorry, guys. I'm like, what is happening?
Give me a second here.
Well, I feel a little better hearing that.
This is just
because I was about to say someone had an aneurysm.
These are supposed to be preloaded by somebody else, and so give me. You guys keep talking and give me like 2 minutes, and I'll go get it. I'll go preload these in.
So whose fault is this? Who should we blame? I'm pretty sure this is probably Nidler's fault.
Yeah, let's blame Nidler.
He somehow
This is the tough part about live TV, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy, you were talking about teams. I'm like, I don't know how to respond to your question right now because these aren't right.
I mean, here's the thing: if you thought Smitty lost his mind last year, there were about to be some wild. I mean, the chat was going nuts here.
Yeah, we could have. If we got up further, that could have been really good.
You said live TV, Pat. Amateur live TV. That's even worse.
Oh my God.
So it's like local access going off the rails, basically.
I haven't typed that fast in so long. I was like, hey, someone.
This is a legitimate question. Somebody in the NDL has enough money to get us on some local access TV on Saturday morning, surely, right? Like that can't be super expensive to get on local access TV somewhere. Like, I don't know, Pat, look into that in Charlotte and see what we got. What it takes to get us on the air in Charlotte.
Oh.
I mean, homie, it's kind of what Twitch is, but I mean, I actually want to turn on the TV and have little kids at home waiting on Mr. Rogers to start and see us. It's Penguin versus Paw Patrol. Who wins?
Oh man.
I mean, I'm choosing Paw Patrol, ain't gonna lie, but
wow,
it would be.
I mean, are we gonna be on cable so we can curse or?
Well, we have to watch our Pat's weekend plans would have to be a lot more edited.
Take this time to go get some water. I'll be right back, boys.
No THC seltzer talk on PBS on Saturday mornings. Man. Okay, well, nothing like. I mean, I was a little confused myself, but I wasn't really sure.
I've asked the wizard to help us.
I need to.
Well, I guess I'll have to save my anger and rage to see what these next rankings actually look like. I'm just kind of recharging here. Decide what I'm gonna go after.
I mean, it makes you feel better. Sergeant Lingus says he'd pick you over all the other shows, Penguin. He says before and after childhood. Could you imagine being a child?
Does that mean? Is that? Is he talking about his age or about how I would have been, 30 years ago versus now?
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the other question. Imagine being a 6-year-old kid up on Saturday morning, you get your bowl of cereal, you turn the TV, and you see Penguin in the flannel closet. Like, I don't know.
It's draft week. I've got my my Derek Brooks jersey I've been wearing hanging here, so
I did make note of that.
My Bucks.
Before the show, when you couldn't hear us, I was telling Pat and Tim, I was like, Penguin has pulled out the flannel and got the Bucks jersey in there.
Yeah, I like it. It's Penguin, you're definitely, I noticed in the chat, you're a diehard Bucks fan. You're really into it.
I mean, when you grow up, my introduction into sports as a child, in Florida, I grew up listening to the Braves on the radio, watching the Bucks on TV, and this is, mid to late 80s. Those teams were hot trash at that time.
Yeah.
But I was still cheering for them. I still love the games. So, yeah.
There you go.
I'm there for the good times and the bad.
Well,
give me a second here. So as you guys are going to get this is like going to be next level stuff here. So obviously a lot of people know that Homie has been working on a new website for the NDL. And part of that website is all new media stuff for us to be able to access. So you're going to get the first look at what the new media stuff will look like moving forward next video game. Okay, it won't most likely be this year.
This was all set up.
So they're replacing us all with AI?
Yep.
Went from last week's rankings to, hey, guess what? This is going to look way cooler.
Yeah. This was done on purpose, Pat. You're right. This was all
outstanding segue, boys. I got to tell you.
What a twist.
Okay, so give me a second. I've almost got it ready. You guys can see it right now. There we go. So Homie can hear us, and he's the one controlling stuff right now. And so, Homie, I think we went from 20 to 20. So now you can see all 25. So now we'll go 25-19 if you want to go in backwards order here, and Hubbard will take over.
Yeah, so we'll go from 25-19. UConn at 25. Okay, here we go. Number 24 is Boise. 23, OSU. 22, Maryland. Okay, 21. South Florida, new to the rankings, number 20.
Yep.
Okay, let's stop here. Let's stop at 25-20, right? That's a little bit different. Anything that stands out to you guys here, 25-20, right? I think a lot more in line. I still think Wake Forest may be a little too low, but we'll see what's ahead of him at 20.
Seeing UConn there is interesting, right?
Yeah,
And Oklahoma State.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was saying, Oklahoma State getting a little bit of love from the Big 12 being so good at the top, right? I mean, truthfully, that's kind of the rub you get from those top three, those Utah, Kansas, BYU.
Yeah.
Say most of it makes sense. Boise being anywhere close to the top 25 is kind of silly, to be honest.
10 wins, though, man. I mean if
10 wins, but they have no good wins. None.
Yeah.
I have looked at it. It's not pretty.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
We'll see what's ahead, though.
I mean, Jeremy, I just hit on UConn. I wanted to make sure. I thought that so his toughest opponent he played all year, per the stat sheet, was NC State, and he lost to him.
Yeah.
In the ACC, that was his only quad. That was a quad 2 game, and then everything else was 3 and 4. He's 1-1 in top 50 Massey. I just, for a CF, I don't mind the ranking. Like, I put him in my top 25 poll, right? But when we're talking about the CFP and the top 25 teams that could possibly represent college football, a little bit of a shocker here for me.
Yeah.
He's done a good job scheduling. He's had 2 really good years in a row. All right, number 20. Let's move along. We saw number 20 was Wake Forest. Okay, 19 is Indiana and the Hoosiers. Number 18, Penn State. Okay, we see them there. All right, 17 is JMU. 16, Miami. Okay, now I think we're going to go. We're going to go all the way to 14 here. We talked about. So let's see 15 and 14, homie. Let's see 15 is Central Michigan, and 14 is Clemson. Okay, so let's stop here and talk. Here's the big change, right? Central Michigan up 5 spots, JMU down 3 spots, and it looks like Chip is in the driver's seat here for the G5 spot. Now, the other thing is, we talked about a minute ago in the old rankings, but Wake is, 3 spots behind JMU. If Wake beats Miami, do you bump Wake ahead? I would think in real life that would probably happen, but in here, it doesn't matter. So 2 questions. How does CMU jump JMU? We'll get more into this. And do we have the potential, Penguin, for Wake Forest to win and us have 2 G5s in?
I mean, who knows? Maybe JMU wins and drops more spots. I mean, this is insanity. I mean, sure, Central Michigan's in the conversation, but that type of movement, when we've set precedent in the past, that's insane. I mean, sure, I can better understand Wake being farther down than JMU falling like that and CMU moving up that much. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
So I talked about it a little bit before the show, and I'll sit on a couple points here with JMU. I've been high on them all season, and so I'm probably a little biased here. But the CFP committee put weight on the Sun Belt last reveal, right? You saw ULM in the top 25. So they put weight on the Sun Belt. Okay. ULM loses a couple games, they fall out. But look who we see in now. We see South Florida in there. So you put weight on South Florida. Guess who beat South Florida? JMU. JMU beat South Florida, right? South Florida beat Penn State, who we saw in there last week. We see Penn State in there again, right behind JMU, which is baffling. South Florida beat Penn State. So if you're going to put South Florida in, you should probably put them ahead of Penn State. And then, like you look at Central Michigan, we talked about it before the show. Love Chip. Chip's a big fan of the show. But who is Chip beat this season? His biggest win is Michigan, and Michigan keeps losing. It makes no sense to me.
I don't know if they're going off of maybe there's something I'm missing, but I've just got both of them pulled up. JMU 1-0 in quad 1 games. Central Michigan 0-1. Central Michigan no quad 2 games. JMU 3-0 in their 3, and then they're both undefeated against the rest. So it's quite clear that he should be ranked ahead of Central Michigan. Like, he's 4-0 in Q1, Q2 games, and Central Michigan is 0-1. Like, holy crap! If that doesn't jump off the page, and he's undefeated. Like,
Yeah.
I see in the comments saying that CMU has a better win than JMU. By what metric? I mean, what? Because you believe Michigan's a better win? There are no stats that back that up.
Though. Michigan isn't in the CFP top 25, and USF is, and JMU beat USF. So no, they do not have a better win. That is wrong.
No, I mean, it's no win. Right?
It's
And
sorry, Dave, that's not true.
To take a MAC team into Michigan is very impressive right now. If you look at, and you got to think about this too. And I'm going to get into my point in a minute because I've been wrong on this, and I think I'm still wrong on this. But if you look at the fact that we play games on a play now basis, right? It's not like a continual dynasty where if Michigan was having a bad year, it would be harder to go. It would be easier to go in at Michigan, if that makes sense, right? Like if you were playing a dynasty and Michigan was having a bad year, winning there would not be as big of a deal. But the EA ratings are what they are every single game you play. So if Michigan being bad, he goes to Michigan, he wins. It's a great win. I get all that. Now, based on the season, who Michigan played, it doesn't look as well. So there's that. But I have been CMU over JMU all year long. I have been saying that no matter what. I've been saying I've had them ranked. Even in this week's poll, I have them ranked. I have JMU higher, but it's close. I have JMU just lower than everybody else, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing about it. Pat stole some of my thunder here, but I looked at these stats and we were talking about this morning. JMU is 4-0 in quad 1 and 2 games. CMU 0-1. Okay. I said, okay, it's got to be the strength of schedule, right? Because we all look at Chip's schedule and we say, Chip's played this tough schedule. Do you know what Chip's strength of schedule is, Pat? It's 95th.
Yeah, I looked at it earlier. It's not good.
JMU's strength of schedule is 75th. So he's 20 spots higher in strength of schedule than Chip is. And I love Chip. And I have been saying Central Michigan over JMU. I just don't. When you look at the facts now, I've been basing it off of Chip as a user, number one. We've been basing it on Chip over Michigan. We've been basing on a lot of other things. The close loss to Alabama. I don't know. I think it had. It doesn't make sense to me to have CMU. If you're going to put CMU over JMU, guys, it's one thing. But to have the big swing, it's basically an 8-spot swing in this week's poll. CMU goes up 5, JMU goes down 3. That's the part to me that's kind of baffling.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I think the ACC thing it doesn't bother me as much. Like the seeing Wake back there that far and they're the number 1 in the ACC because I truly believe. But then again, right now we're literally talking about how the back end of this is completely different from last week and nothing really changed, except for JMU got a boost with USF getting in there. But I think you see Miami and Wake who are going to face off in the ACC championship game. I would assume the winner of that's going to jump the G5, right? You would assume that that's going to happen. But again, obviously, that can be tough right now because we have some questions, right? Which are super valid questions.
If Miami wins, Miami will be in, right? You won't have to worry about it. But if Wake wins, they beat a 4-loss Miami team now at that point. If JMU goes out and beats UL Monroe, who is a 10-2 team right now, and let's say they go out and beat them handily, then you start having the argument. I think we all would agree Chip probably beats UMass in the championship game. So there's that. I don't know. I think we're headed towards that possible. If Wake wins and JMU wins big, we're in that scenario. We're going to be in there. Miami wins, they're in. I don't think that's the problem. It's going to come down to if Wake wins. Okay. Any more thoughts on that before we jump into going from the top 1 to 4? Anybody got any conversation left?
Nope.
I think we've set up an incredible scenario where I'm actually going to potentially be on Pat's side and be against 2 G5 teams getting in, depending on how this shakes out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, number 1. Let's start at the top, homie. We're going to go number 1 here is Ohio State. Number 2, then we assume would be the Texas Longhorns. I know you guys have some strong thoughts on this, right? Is this right? What should be the top order?
Yes, it is right.
Ohio State over Texas. Okay, Pat, yes. Tim, agree?
No. And here's the thing too: is with Oregon losing a game that he should have won, that only hurts Ohio State, right? It hurts the conference in general with those 2 top teams. to where Texas is. I mean, just look at the resume. We did that last week, right? Look, we pull up the blind resume. We posted it in the chat. Is that if you're only using this season, which that's how the CFP is supposed to work. The rankings, I have no problem with people ranking Ohio State in their poll, right? Because they're using past success and stuff. But with the CFP, they're supposed to use only this season. Is how are you possibly giving Ohio State the 1 seed and the possible home field advantage all the way throughout the playoff?
Yeah.
Because they're not using just this season. Let's just be honest.
I mean, that's the only explanation that would make sense to me. Obviously, that's my opinion. Is that I just don't know how at this point in the season Texas isn't ahead of Ohio State.
Yeah, the man's going for a three-peat, and whether people admit it or not, that is in their minds. That's
There you
because
have
what you're saying is true, Tim. You're saying a lot of true things, but I believe that three-peat is on the mind. It's in the brains. It's affecting things, and that's why they're won over Texas.
There you go.
And this is not from the commissioner of the SEC, but the SEC is the deepest and strongest conference, right? Like Texas being the leader there. I mean, we talked about how great Georgia is earlier, right? I mean, they beat Georgia on the road. I think I don't know. I think it's we could say it doesn't matter, but it does because somebody's going to get home field advantage if they play each other, and so it does matter when that game happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go number 3, and let's see who we got here because it should be a change, and it's Georgia. All right, so there's the Georgia team. So Texas beats the number 3 team on the road. That just strengthens the argument for Texas as number 1. All right, number 4 is BYU. Okay, number 5. This is probably a spot for the run on Big 12 teams. There we go, Utah. Okay, so number 6 now is where we'll go, and it is Kansas. Okay, any argument here on 3 through 6? Are we happy with this order?
And I just want to disclose this. These rankings are up to the week 14, so these do not
Correct.
take your conference championship games into account, even though 2
Correct.
of them have been played.
So we
I
know
think Kansas is a little high here.
Wow. Pat,
You're going to tell me Kansas? Ole Miss should be there, not Kansas.
I'm gonna Hey, Jeremy, I'm gonna piggyback with Penguin here. Yeah, I know I said this earlier. Is I think Ole Miss is too low here. I think Ole Miss should be ahead of these 3 teams. Here's the reason, Jeremy. You hit on it earlier. The deepest conference is the SEC this year. The weakest conference, I think, obviously between the 3, I'm leaving the ACC out because they're a little bit down. Is by far the Big 12. They have 4 teams that are over 500 in the whole conference.
Yeah,
That's misleading, right? Like, and so the SEC is way deeper, and so you're going to have teams with probably an extra loss in there because of how deep the conference is. And so I just don't know that you put all 3 of the good teams. I mean, these are almost the only teams over 500 in the whole conference, and you're going to put them at 4, 5, 6.
No,
Respectfully, if you put Utah, BYU, and Kansas all in the SEC this season, sure, they've got some good wins, including BYU over Tennessee, but you add at least 2 losses to both of them, to all 3 of those, if they play in there and play that conference schedule. It's just true.
Well, and as good as Smitty is, if he takes a random SEC team like, I don't know, let's say he's, I don't know, Kentucky, which would probably, maybe that's the equivalent of Kansas in terms of ratings. I don't know without looking at it. Does he go 11-1 in the SEC with the Kentucky like he's able to do in the Big 12 with Kansas, right? And Smitty's a good user, right? Don't get me wrong on that. I'm just saying, like, that's part of it too. But those 3 teams have kind of, I mean, I have them clumped together in my rankings too, in my top 25. But I do agree if you're going to put Georgia at number 3, which there's definitely an argument for, then Ole Miss does have to be in the conversation ahead of those other ones. I mean, that is the truth there. And we know this will change a little bit because Utah beat BYU. How far will BYU drop? How high will Utah go? Could they overtake it? Whatever that looks like. Okay, let's go to number 7 here and see what we have. Number 7, Notre Dame. Up 2 spots from last week. Number 8, Ole Miss. Okay, so Ole Miss does not move. Tim, you've been beating the Ole Miss drum. They stay at number 8. Notre Dame jumps them. What are your thoughts on Ole Miss versus Notre Dame? At this point?
So I just real quick, you compare. I mean, they both have 1 loss, right? Notre Dame gets thumped by Miami, who's in the top 25, right?
Yep.
Ole Miss travels to Georgia, who's your number 3 team, and loses by 7.
Yep.
But just like someone try to tell me how that makes sense. Like just from a logical standpoint, how does that make sense?
We have a lot of Catholics on the committee, I guess.
Yeah, they love a good doctor and they love a good church.
Look, I mean, the Irish are a different team than they were week 1, though, guys. Sometimes this shit happens. He's been playing really well. I mean, I think I saw him. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm pretty sure I saw him beat the team he's in front of in the NDL Cup yesterday. Now,
Yep,
I don't
he
know if
did.
they were trying, whatever the damn case is. Okay, but you have to admit, you got to kind of erase the week 1 massacre. It gets erased after my mind. I mean, shit, that was back when like football season might have still been being played, you know? So, I don't know. I just think I am actually not upset with him being this high as I normally probably would be, because I hate Notre Dame with a passion. But
no, and I don't think the argument is should Notre Dame be that high, because I think there's definitely an argument for it. The question is, do they belong over Ole Miss? And that would tend to be the question I would ask. Or should they both be ahead of Kansas? I mean, you tell me.
And I'm with you there, Pat. Is that I had Notre Dame in my top 10 in my poll, and I had him move up even more this week because he's playing really well. He's probably playing, I'd probably put him at top 6, 7 in the league right now with how he's playing now. But I'm just saying, when you compare the resumes, like I mean, they both have one loss. Who was their loss to, and how did they lose? You have to use that, right? And I mean, we've said it 1,000 times. There has to be a little bit of weight. This goes in real life too. Playing in a conference is a lot different than playing out of a conference, right? And I know you could make the argument, hey, that Notre Dame kind of plays an ACC schedule. They don't play them all. They can't play in the championship game. I mean, those things do matter. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. But like, it just kind of, I don't know. It is what it is. It would just be nice to have some of these question answers, because each week these are pretty drastically different measures. It appears to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be, this next week's gonna be interesting.
Okay, so let's move along to 9 and 10, who both are probably safe, we would assume, unless there's chaos. We don't know who it is. Oregon and Tennessee at 9 and 10. Do you think they've both done enough, guys, to be safe? I mean, neither one. Ohio State's going to play. I mean, Oregon's going to play Ohio State, right? And Tennessee lost to Texas in the SEC championship game. So, do either one of those two teams stay in, or do you think there's a potential that they're out? If Oregon, Tennessee's already lost, but what happens to Oregon if they lose, Penguin?
Shoot, are you saying what I think should happen or what this committee will do? Because I mean, I feel like those are two very different things potentially. I think Oregon has got to be very much in danger if they lose, and they lose badly, especially if they lose badly. Yeah, say even say multiple scores, then I mean, yeah, they dropped them that far for USC. Then there's got to be a chance that they fall out all the way, because I mean, I just pulled up and looked at their schedule here. Their best win, I mean, they beat Penn State and Indiana. Those are good wins, but I mean, those are, I don't know, man. I think they're right on the bubble there with another loss. And Tennessee, I think Tennessee deserves to be the last team in, personally, but I think that's more based off how I felt watching them play than raw numbers. And honestly, I don't think they keep Tennessee in. I think the Vols don't make it.
It'll be interesting, right? Because the Tennessee-Texas game was not close, right? I mean, it was a Texas pretty handily win, Pat. I guess the problem is if Tennessee would not have played in the SEC championship game, then for sure they would still be in, and an Oregon loss would probably put them out. I think 11, 12, and 13 will be dependent on what we think happens next. But I don't know, Pat, just looking at it, do you think Tennessee should be in even though they lost and they're going to be a 3-loss team?
You're going to have to see how the other chips fall. I unfortunately didn't even know they played early. I mean, I knew before today, but like I had no idea. I didn't see a second of the game, so I didn't see how that panned out. And obviously, I haven't seen a score come across the scoreboard. You know what I mean? So you would have to tell me how that went. But I mean, again, it's just how you weight the SEC. I don't know. I've always been team conference championship games shouldn't knock you like out of a playoff spot because you made it there over a team that maybe didn't play in it. So that's where, like, would Mizzou jump up there? Like, I don't see anyone completely bunny hopping Oregon, even if they lose, to knock them fully out. That's just the way I see it. And you'll see later in the show, I think Oregon has every chance to beat Ohio State anyway. I think, well, we'll talk later, but yeah. I don't know. I still think, I mean, the wins over, Penn State and Indiana, look, not a great season for myself, played really poorly, Penn State. Andy, he's streaky, but you got to take those wins into account. You know what I mean? Going into Penn State, I had to play there. It's difficult. So, I mean, it's impressive. You know, he just has a weird loss every year. You know, I can't figure it out. Yeah. Because he's very capable.
Yeah. Now, I will say, if I'm comparing, if I have to pick between which one of them gets in, I probably end up slightly giving the odd to Oregon based off those two wins. But I guess just what I'm saying is that if Oregon loses that game, I think the committee leaves them both out, is what I'm saying.
Well, we'll have to see. Tim, I mean, here's the thing. If Oregon's a dangerous team, right? If they get in with it's a talented roster. It's going to depend, Tim, on how they go against Ohio State, right? I mean, if Ohio State blows them out, then it's different.
I think that's part of it. You know, and Pat brought it up. He's got big wins over Penn State and Indiana, who the committee puts in the top 25, and so that obviously will help him. I mean, it's going to be a tough decision if he does get blown out. I did watch that Tennessee-Texas game. The first half was good. Tennessee was winning the game, right? They were up 7-0 late in the first. Throws a pick six, turns around next drive and throws another interception. But he still kept the game close in the first half. Jiggy just pulled away in the second half. And so it'll be interesting to how the Oregon-Ohio State game, right? If he keeps it close the whole game, even with a loss, I think he's probably still in, right? Pretty good resume when you're looking at the wins, right? We just take away everything else. And then it really comes down to the Tennessee-Missouri, who's better, right? They have very similar resumes. And I know you listen to Vegas in the live chat, and he keeps talking about the coaches he played out of conference. Well, they all had bad years this year. We can't say, hey, well, 2 seasons ago, NC State was in the CFP. Well, that don't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. And Missouri did go out and challenge themselves, right? They went out and played Kansas. So how much do you hold that against Missouri? Because Kansas is way better than any team that Tennessee played out of conference, right? Like way better this season. And so I think there'll be lots of questions. It's going to be probably 3 or 4 teams where the committee's really pinning up against each other. And I really hope they put a lot of weight on the out of conference schedules. I'm big on that. So
yeah, my guess is we'll have to have a Missouri-Tennessee argument on next week's show. And that's interesting because it's Tennessee. You're right. Tennessee's argument is going to be very hard based on the way the teams that they beat and how that went. All right. So number 11, who we think is the last team in if it were to start today. Number 11, homie, is Missouri. So that's the team, right? They're down a spot. So basically Missouri and Tennessee flip-flop here. And that'll be so they're the last team in. So now we're down to 2 spots, 12 and 13. They would be the first 2 teams out. And they will probably join Tennessee and Missouri in the conversation next week for who gets that last spot. Number 12 and 13 are Stanford. Well, one of them won't because Stanford has a postseason ban, but Syracuse at number 13. So it looks, guys, like the last spot's going to come down to the last 2 spots, truthfully, will come down to Oregon, Tennessee, Missouri, Syracuse. Those would be, or really, that's it. Does Syracuse beat Clemson, so Clemson can't really have a claim to the argument. Then it would be maybe just a matter of what happens in the SEC. All right. So overall thoughts on that top 25, guys. What do you think there? Missouri, Oregon, Tennessee, Missouri, Stanford, SMU or Stanford guys, is out. They can't get in. You look at what the bracket would look like today. What are your thoughts on the overall top 25? We'll start with you, Pat. Overall top 25, and then looking at the bracket, what do you see?
So as you know, I'm on my phone. Sorry, I can't quite see the bracket, but I'll go off of what I'm going off the visual here. I like the top 25 minus. Like I said, I would push Notre Dame and Ole Miss maybe ahead of Kansas, and then kind of whoever won. Utah beat BYU, right? They also played,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So BYU is definitely going to probably move back a spot. Utah will probably jump them by one, and then you could have Notre Dame sneak all the way up to that 6th seed. We already talked about the Central Michigan thing, so that's bizarre to me. But there's some awesome looking games in the first round if it were to end today, so that's always exciting.
Well, there is one thing in this. Just looking at the bracket, by the way, and somebody just pointed this out in the chat. The matchups probably wouldn't be this way because 11 would be it wouldn't be Syracuse. It would either be James Madison or the ACC champ.
Correct. Yeah.
So that'd be so you'd be looking at Miami or Wake or James Madison against Kansas. That's the one thing on the bracket that's a little off. They're the highest rated ACC team, but not the champ.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Penguin, what do you think about the bracket? Looking at it, what would be your first thoughts?
Let me. I can.
And actually,
I can honestly barely see it.
Yeah, but if you're looking at it truthfully, Central Michigan would be in the 11th spot. It would be Chip and Kansas, and then JMU, Wake, or Miami would be taking on Utah. Tim, I think me and you may be the ones that can really see it on a bigger screen. Thoughts? Maybe not even just the bracket, guys, but even the overall top 25. I know we've had a lot of talks about different spots in it, but what are some things you see in terms, especially Penguin, re-ranking every week and the metrics that they're using?
Man, I don't know. I mean, because they're kind of all over the place here. As we talked about the move of the G5 teams, and it's just hard for me to wrap my mind around still how we're, not that Central Michigan shouldn't be in the conversation, but to just shit on JMU like they did. And the way the SEC, the ACC's been shit on. Sure, you've got Oregon technically, not Oregon, sorry, Syracuse sitting in there right now. But a team that's not played in the conference championship game versus that frankly lost. They had their play-in game versus Notre Dame, and they lost that game. And I got to think at the end, when the dust settles, honestly, I think Q should be the first team out with the way stuff settles out at the end. And the only part of this that I think is, that makes it, I think the top 4 is going to be just fine once that you'll flip Utah and BYU.
Mm-hmm.
But man, my head just hurts with the G5 stuff. But so, I don't know what can we expect consistency next week after this? Or, are we going to have more shakeups? I really don't know, because I feel like in years past with the committee, we've gotten, the whole message that, well, you can't jump teams if you didn't, if something major didn't happen. Yet that feels like that's just what they've done this last week here. So, shoot, I don't know what to think.
We had the press release this week from the CFP, which is as long as I've been around, it's the first time that's happened, right? But,
yeah.
Andy just mentioned this in the chat. They kind of gave themselves an out, like basically it may look completely different next week. We're sitting here talking about if so-and-so wins, they bump higher, but man, we don't even know, Pat, what could happen.
So does this mean they think that they got it wrong prior to this week and that they had to reevaluate themselves? Is that what that means?
If you hold up 2 pieces of paper and one has JMU's resume and one has Central Michigan's, it makes 0 sense. Like, there's literally one that is far greater than the other one. So I do not understand it. Like, I really need an explanation. Like, seriously, put them side by side after the show, guys. Like, it will make a lick of 0 sense. Like, I don't understand why. And obviously, I love Chip. He's our Congress commissioner. I talk to him all the time, but even he would tell you if he was looking at those. I don't know why JMU is behind them. I don't understand. Am I blind here, guys? Like, I don't know. Like, it makes 0 sense to me.
No, I mean the two biggest questions, which obviously we had the one last week, which we all agreed except for kind of Penguin, was Texas, right? We wanted to know their explanation at least why Ohio State's ahead of Texas,
Yeah.
and Pat, I'm with you. The same thing with the JMU is how did the back end of the CFP change so much over the course of a week, where very minimal games were played. The course of the last couple of weeks, where very minimal games were played.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so obviously just questions that we'd love to ask a member. If you're a member and you're listening, we would love to have you on the show next week, just to kind of explain the thought process. Because again, we've had a couple people here, Jeremy and Pat were both on the committee, and sometimes the committee in general has they kind of view things differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. We just would like to hear that explanation of that and what the thought process is behind it.
Yeah. Well, there's
It's
more
a tough
games to
job,
play. That's
right?
what's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to rank these teams. It is, but if you can defend it, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I think Tim hit on the great point. Tell us why you're doing it, right? Like, there's a lot of things in NDL. I think we could all agree. If you would just explain things, maybe the public could understand it. I mean, let's go beyond just the rankings. Let's talk about anything that's happened in the last couple of seasons that everybody loses their mind about in the live chat. Just give an explanation and tell us what happened. Be transparent about it, and that's what you got to have here is do that. But the problem is, Penguin's favorite thing is a quality loss, and to me, that's what's got CMU ahead of JMU is just a quality loss to Alabama. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that's what it is.
Evidently, that
The win at Michigan is a quad 3 win for Central Michigan. It's not like it's some like groundbreaking victory.
But
you know,
but
I
I
get
get
it.
that. But that was to my point earlier. Yes, if EA could see the game in the way that we play it, yes, that is a quad 3 win. But on EA, when you line up and play a friend and you go to Michigan, that's a quad 1 game in a top 5 environment in the game, right? So there is that aspect of it. You're still taking Central Michigan to Michigan in a 1 game scenario, right? So you have to take that aspect of it when you're talking about that. But then we have to look at the big picture in the league. So that you have to kind of take both sides into that, right? Like it is a quad 3 overall, but it's a quad 1 win for Chip to go to Michigan and beat them, Central Michigan.
yeah.
Hey, let me pull all three of you right now. What's a tougher win in our league, knowing what you know? Chip going to play 6 at Michigan with CMU, or JMU playing South Florida and El Jefe? What's a tougher game? That's the question that needed to be asked. Not, hey, what are the rankings in a video game? I can't imagine the CFP uses that at all because it shouldn't be used. Who cares about the rankings and the ratings of players? Like that doesn't matter.
It's you get 1 or 2 good drives and you can wipe that home field advantage out. That's all. Yeah. So I mean, to be blunt, I don't think it's close. I'm gonna disagree heavily with a certain impassioned visual in the chat. Beating El Jefe with USF is the tougher thing to do because he's just a stronger user than 6 is. And yes, that is part of the equation. That is part of the factor here. You tell me that doesn't matter? Bullshit. It matters.
I mean, so we've been back since what, season 29? How many times has 6 made the CFP?
Yeah. No, listen, that's a great argument. I get. I mean, that's what they have to use, right? Like, I'm just saying to you, like, we can't just say. I mean, yes, based on the NDL and the way the NDL is structured, it is a quad 3 win. I'm not arguing with that, and I'm just saying the only thing you could say is for CMU to go to Michigan and win it's a bigger accomplishment than JMU beating South Florida. I mean, just the team ratings alone, the talent. I get all that. Listen, I'm not arguing. I just said that I was wrong in the fact that JMU should be ahead of CMU. 100% agree with that now. I flipped my opinion about it. I'm trying to make it make sense, and that's all I can think of.
Yeah, and even if you take the user out of it and you just look at South Florida's schedule this season and their success against Michigan's schedule and their success, the South Florida wins. I mean, South Florida beat Penn State at Penn State, right? Mm-hmm. They're a top 25 CFP team right now. I mean, and so I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around that. Obviously, JMU beat them. It was at home, right, and it was a 3-point win. But like South Florida's other losses, Georgia, right? They lost to Georgia, and then they lost to Ole Miss. And so those are all CFP teams, right? And I'm not making a case for South Florida. I'm just saying who's a better opponent, like to take the user away then, because someone said we can't use the users in the chat. Just take the opponents away. South Florida has a way better resume than Michigan. It's really not even close.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of I'm blown away. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And CMU is a great coach, right? We love Chip, and we're usually really high on
Oh yeah.
Central Michigan all year, every year on game day. And Chip's the first one in the chat to say that JMU should be ahead of him.
I mean, let's be clear. Had Alabama not basically come up clutch late versus them, this isn't even a question. But that is what happened. So it is a question, you know.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, yeah, CMU could have won that game for sure. Okay, we can all agree it should be JMU right now. We got to let it all play out. I think the bigger argument is what comes down to: do we get 2 G5s or not? I think that's the real possibility based on what we've seen. That would be the argument.
I mean, because isn't the scenario it's either 2 G5s and no ACC? Is that's what we're looking at, right?
Yep. Yeah. So
speaking of that, do you guys got anything else? We're talking about the ACC. Speaking of that, we'll go ahead and that.
I want to throw out one last caveat. You know, yes, I'm passionate about this. Everyone on the committee, 6 included. I do not hate you guys. If I offended you, I apologize. I'm passionate about my views. I'd happily buy a beer for any of you. I appreciate your hard work. But if I strongly disagree with you, I'm not going to pull punches. It's that simple.
Yeah, so we talk about the ACC. We talk about the potential where maybe one of those coaches, right? Like we all agreed that if Miami wins, they're in based where they are in the CFP right now. But we did all state that the coach, Sergeant Lingus, if Wake Forest was to beat Miami, the questions arise: do they jump JMU and do they jump CMU? We have Coach Lingus here on the show today. It was his big birthday yesterday, and that was his only birthday wish he wanted from his whole family was to be on the NDL Game Day show on Saturday morning.
Oh, what a guy!
Wow.
Lingus, you come on camera.
Oh, look at the young. Why is it so blurry? Are you on a Razer phone? What is it, the Motorola?
I am on a Surface Pro.
Oh, it's nothing.
The camera quality is not very good.
Yeah, he's on that Montana dial-up internet, right? He's just logging into
AOL. Very nice.
Well, first off, happy birthday, young man. Day late.
Thank you.
Yeah, what did you do?
I had a birthday dinner with my family, and I was gonna go gambling, but I had to play a Dynasty game last night. So doing most of the stuff I was supposed to do today.
Hey, he's in Montana too, where he could play poker. They got machines there.
Love it.
And he stayed at home and had cake with his family and played video games.
Don't play those machines at those casinos. They just take your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared I'm going to get addicted.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that. It's not a good thing to be addicted to.
By the way, don't play poker in a casino. I'm just going to give you some advice. Those guys that sit there all week long and they just team up on you, don't do it. If you walk in the door today and play poker, they're going to take your money and they're going to laugh when you're on the door, out the door with the money. So don't do that. No, so it's interesting because you find yourself in a spot, man, where people really weren't counting on you to maybe be in this spot when the season started. So talk about your year and how it's gone for you.
Well, I honestly didn't even expect myself to be here. Thought I'd probably do kind of what I did last year. But after probably the first win, I just, felt a click. Kind of got in a rhythm, started figuring out the game and how to use my team and my running back, of course. and that's pretty much it. Just need him. And obviously the rest of the team, but mainly my running back.
I'm sure the other 21 guys love to hear that.
Yeah. Gonna suit up for the ACC championship game with one guy.
Yeah, Booby Miles out there.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it. In my dynasty game against Rockefeller, I stopped his run game pretty well, so I'm pretty confident against Devon.
Okay.
Nice. Let me ask you this. One more question, and I'll turn you over to the other members of the jury. There's a lot of talk this week about, and really all year long, about young guys in our league. So you just turned 18. You are 100% committed to the league. I mean, you're always involved. Talk about, I mean, do you find it weird? You're hanging out on a Saturday morning with a bunch of old guys, right? Like, talk about being, I mean, but you're 18 in this league. Kind of like, where do you prioritize, right? Like being 18 versus in the NDL. It's just an interesting thing to me. Talk about that and how you've enjoyed
I
it.
honestly probably prioritize the NDL way too much, but I enjoy it. I love being here. It's loads of fun.
That's why we're glad you're here, man, for sure. That's interesting. And you chose a dynasty game and your family over going out with friends in the casino. So you're already way ahead of most of us grown ass men because
Yeah.
we'd all go to the casino and our friends over a game and cake. Maybe not cake. I don't know, Pat. I like cake too, but
It was ice cream
Depends on the
cake.
cake.
oh, ice cream cake. Okay.
They
So,
go ahead. No, go ahead, Pat.
I just have a question for you, really quick, because we are always talking about your offense, and I noticed this earlier when we were looking at your stats, more of a defensive guy. You have a guy that you use here, Nick Anderson, 109 tackles, 3 picks, 12 passes defended, and 3 forced fumbles. So are you like, tell me a little bit about how you're using him on defense, because those are some impressive numbers. 10 tackles for loss as well with 3 sacks.
So I run a lot of match coverage,
Okay.
especially against people who pass a lot. And
Mhm.
I'll run like match since my D line isn't really good anyways. So even if I send 4, I get pressure around maybe a second quicker than if I sent 3. So I usually just do 3D linemen and run cover 4, and then
Mhm.
Nick Anderson's usually the spy because I have him as my sub LB.
Mhm.
I usually user him.
Understood.
That's
I
only
like
in
that.
nickel sets though.
Mhm.
But in everything else, like he always plays. He's never out of the game. That
Right.
as well.
Okay.
Because he's my starting free safety, and then one in nickel or dime sets, he's in at sub LB.
Gotcha. You don't see too
But
many
he probably
safeties rocking number 45 too. I kind of like that. That's unique.
I don't really he's probably my favorite user, honestly. He's not
Yeah.
fast or anything, but he's easy to move with. I'm
Mhm.
just so used to him, I guess.
Okay. Well, that was the one question I had for you. I know you have great offensive numbers, but that was sticking out to me, that player right there. So I was like wondering how you used him. So thank you.
We'll have to have Tuddy do a quick little audit on those stats, make sure they're correct.
I put in all my stats correct. I actually go over them twice. I probably spend most of my time putting in the stats.
Tuddy's in the chat right now. Tuddy, you should be proud of that because what you're doing is paying off, right? You're rubbing off on Mr. Lingus.
Whoa. Whoa.
I probably also take way too long doing my
Yeah, I kind of
stats.
forget. I don't know if you guys know. Sergeant Lingus was on the show, what, 2 seasons ago? Maybe 3 seasons
Oh
ago?
boy.
Maybe
Not
it
this
might have even
again.
been last video game, but we looked up the definition of his username, which he didn't even know. And so if you're bored, you can go ahead and Google what Lingus means.
Terrible.
Yes. It's a very cunning username, one might say.
Wow.
Anyway. Anyway, back to the game and what reason we're here for
CG
is
asked
mature adults.
CG asked a question if Wake is my favorite team. I don't really have a favorite college football team, but I bought Wake Forest shirt just for this season because
Love it.
they're probably my favorite team now in this game, at least.
I just want you to know you did show
That'll
us that
probably
shirt.
change
We have
next
no idea.
game.
We have no idea what that shirt looks like, by the way. If I was to wait, it doesn't matter.
Wake Forest? You bought a Wake Forest shirt?
It's my-
I like that. That Penguin did the same thing. He bought a hat.
I'm superstitious. Ever since I started wearing it, I've only lost one game, and it was a Beefy Cup game.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Ask half the league.
Anyway, speaking of the
RB,
Sergeant, give us if you were to give us 3 keys to victory for this game for you, taking on a tough coach with, I mean, frankly, really good line of scrimmage on both the defensive and offensive side. So, what are your 3 keys to pulling off this and bringing a trophy back to Winston-Salem?
one question. My camera, it isn't even that blurry on the Twitch stream thing, but on the stream that you have up, it's blurry as hell.
Yes.
Which
it's
way
I'm
to
sorry
avoid
about that. I'll buy a webcam.
Yeah.
I'll buy a webcam right after this.
Well, don't do that.
Because now I feel kind of embarrassed. This is
No, I think
this
it's
is
fitting.
top tier embarrassment.
It's fitting because maybe Twitch doesn't know you're 18 yet, so it's blurring you out.
Oh my God.
Right.
Jordan, answer your question. Penguin asked you what the 3 keys to success to beat Miami is.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. I was gonna ask the question again because he cut out when he said it. Okay.
Okay. What are your 3 keys to give us 3 keys to victory?
Score more points.
Don't turn the ball over. Score more points than him. And stop the run game.
Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Surprised you didn't say play with 11 on the field.
Take away the D line.
Or you just make him play without all of his players?
No, just quick passes.
A lot of chop.
Yeah,
a lot of chop blocks early. Is that what we're looking to do?
No, I was thinking, quick passes, running the ball.
Okay.
Hopefully he's not listening to this.
Devin, you can only play with 7 guys on defense.
Yes.
You're not allowed to line up
so
any
would you
linemen.
say staying out of long yardage to go situations would be very key in this one here. That way Mesidor and Bain aren't able to pin their ears back.
Well, I could probably still make something happen in the long yardage situation since I'm home, but yeah, like to stay away from those. Hopefully my running back does not get wear and tear right away. I'll try to keep him in only when I need him in.
Yeah.
There you have it. Keys to success for Awake when you guys are playing right after the show. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
Man, exciting stuff.
Will the footage be clear or will it be blurry like this?
No, so I actually got really good streams. I get really good. I have really good Wi-Fi.
And you talk like Chip sometimes too, right? You talk like Chip sometimes just to yourself.
Yeah, I talk on the thing, but sometimes I probably sound like an idiot when I'm saying
all the time. Yep.
Yeah, or when I'm crashing out. One time Vic was giving me crap for saying "give me that crap," but he said I sounded like a squeaker. Kind of hurt my feelings.
What?
So I'm a little quiet on stream now.
Well, they
just gotta lean into it and own it.
Yeah, Sergeant Squeaker the Lingus, the coach of the Wake Forest team, is playing Miami right after the show for the ACC championship game. Lingus is going to stay on and do our pick'ems with them as our guest picker this week. So we'll go ahead and kind of transition over to that. You can see some of the new graphics that Homie's working at with the new website here on the right that'll show our NDL Sharp numbers. NDL Sharp that Andy kind of helped start here in the NDL. So make sure you're hopping over to that NDL Sharp site, making your bets for these conference championship games. Some of them have been played already. We won't talk about the SEC game or the Big 12 team. Obviously, we already talked about it. Utah winning and Texas winning. And so we'll go ahead and jump into the pick'em games this week.
Alrighty. So our first game up is which conference is this even? I don't even know which conference these teams play in. I should probably pull that up here.
Well
It's the
done,
American.
Penguin.
Every piece of
It's the
information.
It's the American, okay?
The American. Okay, so a conference that's kind of made up and nobody remembers. All right.
My
So
God.
South Florida taking on the UTSA Roadrunners. So you've got an old vet with titles under his on his mantle, and Big Mike taking on a guy till this season in El Jefe who's been a perennial playoff contender. And I mean, we got to give South Florida credit for. I mean, did anyone give themselves a tougher out of conference schedule this season? Georgia, Penn State, Ole Miss. I mean, sure, he came short in those, but I mean, we give young guys a lot of crap. I got to stand up and applaud El Jefe for that scheduling and what he tried to do this season. And frankly, South Florida's a pretty darn good team. I mean, they're not great by any means, but they got some solid pieces, got a good coach. I think they overwhelmed the Roadrunners in this one, and give me the Bulls to get this game and get revenge for a game they lost earlier this season.
Yeah, I mean, this is El Jefe's time of the year, right? Like this is kind of when he's playing his best. He was kind of forgotten about for a few weeks in the league. We didn't really talk about him a whole lot, but here he sits in the AAC championship game against Big Mike, and who's had a great year at UTSA so far. I played against UTSA. I had a great game with him actually back in the first conference game. But I just think El Jefe at this point is playing his best. This is when he likes to be his best, and I'll take the Bulls as well and Byron Brown.
Oh, that's me, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to piggyback on what these guys said. Both these guys kind of had rough starts to their season, right? And then they kind of figured it out. And so I think it's actually going to be a really close game, but I think USF pulls it out late. I think they have the better overall roster and team. Big Mike, obviously solid player. I think like I said, he'll keep it tight, but I think the quarterback's got too much there at South Florida. And he's the Auburn QB next year, right? In real life?
Yep.
Is that correct? Yeah. So, give me South Florida in a 4-point game.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
with
my
you.
God,
I think
sorry
the
about
game's
that.
close. They played earlier. They played earlier in the season. South Florida hosted. The game was close. It was just that like one possession that Big Mike couldn't get back. And South Florida kept scoring. I think it's the same thing. I think Big Mike's going to probably turn it over and then be playing catch up, but I think it'll be close. 2-score game here for me. What about you, Legas?
I'm going to go with South Florida. Got to represent the young guys. Got to root for them too.
Okay.
I think he comes away
Big
with
Mike
it.
old.
Oh, he's not young. 10 points. South Florida wins.
Good.
Love you, Big Mike.
Have we ever had a guest on the show just like pay more attention to the chat than the actual people that are on the show?
Absolutely not.
I am paying attention to both.
I'm glad his camera don't work.
Penguin asked him a question earlier, and he just starts answering a question in the chat.
All you see is his forehead and his bangs right now if the camera wasn't blurry.
My hair's actually short right now.
So is Jeremy's.
Yeah. His is short by choice. Mine's short because I'm in the 40s. So that's what happens. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. By the way, I want to take credit for turning Big Mike's season around. He was 0-4 before he beat me, by the way. Anyway.
There you go.
Let's go
Slump buster, right? Jeremy the slump buster.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Lincoln doesn't know about that yet. Okay, so next game in the ACC. Maybe he does. I don't know.
It's a really good seltzer there, Pat.
It is, dude. That was really funny though. Sorry.
Oh man, we have the end of the season cannot come soon enough. Okay, so Miami and Wake in this one, right? Both teams need to win here. We think that Miami is in with a win in the CFP. Wake Forest, we would think, probably jumps up and gets in the CFP with a win, but it's going to be close depending on how the other games go. Very interesting matchup where, look at Big Mike's schedule, or Big Mike, sorry, look at Devon's schedule. He lost those 2 games in a row in weeks 4 and 5 to Florida and Missouri. And then a couple weeks later, he lost to Stanford. He's sitting there at 4 and 3. And guess what we all started doing? We all started writing him off. And then here he goes, 5 wins in a row. Nothing. I mean, he beat Syracuse. That's the biggest win since then. But he sits there with a chance to get in the CFP again, and Wake stands in his way. Now, if there's a knock on Wake Forest here, it would be let's look at the schedule. Who's he beaten? He lost to BYU by 3. Great game, obviously. He lost to Arizona. That one kind of sticks out. And he lost to Ole Miss. And not just – there was some controversy there, but lost by 24, right? So this is an interesting game here. And I, my man, I love you here. Happy birthday to you. It's going to be a sad day. I'm going to go with the Hurricanes here. I think Miami, the experience factor gets it done. Devon knows how to win these games. Canes in the win.
Yeah, I've had Miami on my radar. So have you guys. When we said, hey, who's like not in the playoffs that will probably be like at the end of the year, and we all kind of agreed earlier on the year it was going to be Miami. That was like back in block 3 or 4. I just think it's the better overall roster. He's a very good user. He's very tricky to play. I've played him before, and I just think the overall talent at Miami takes over late, and he's going to win with a touchdown to kind of seal the game at the end. Give me something like 37-30, Miami. Sorry, Lingus.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Miami team, Jeremy. You kind of talked about it, playing the number 1 strength of schedule in the NDL this season. The offense, number 2 rated offense in the league, which I think Wake is going to be able to match the offensive side of the ball, right? Like Wake's in the top 15 in offense. I think where you're going to see the separation is on the defensive side of the ball. Miami's loaded with talent, right? We know that. But I think they're going to end up wearing out the offensive side of the ball. I think they do a great job of trying to corral the running back for Wake Forest. There's no surprise there that he's their best player. He has like 2,500 all-purpose yards for Wake Forest. Jeremy's got to brush his teeth. But
my wife's trying to pack the hotel, bro.
But I think what happens is this is going to be one of those typical games where I've seen Wake Forest play. They play really competitive in the first half. They keep it close. And then what happens is Miami's going to pull away in the second half, couple turnovers. And I think it ends up being a 3-score game.
I think it's a really competitive game going into the fourth quarter. I think that the 2 factors tilt it for me. One is depth, and the fact of the matter is that I think Miami is going to wear down that star running back a bit, and I think unfortunately that's going to hurt the Deacons. Just the fact that the guy behind the star just isn't quite up to the task, and Miami is just deep everywhere. And another interesting fact there about Wake is that while they've had a great season, they're 5-0 on the road this year, but only 4-3 at home. So that Wake Forest home field disadvantage may come into play here, and I don't think Miami's phased at all by it. And for that reason, the Canes end up winning by, say, 7 points in the end.
Wake Forest by 14. I don't need to say much more.
Wow. Love it. Confident young man on his birthday.
But don't be surprised if I only win by 3. I mean, it's either 3 or 14,
Okay.
I'll try harder.
Okay.
I'll study 20.
All right.
Maybe lose by, or I could lose by 35. It's one of the.
Yeah, I mean, considering you gave your whole defensive game plan to him a minute ago, I would think that might be a logical scenario.
I don't even think he knows what match coverage is. You know.
Oh my goodness
man.
gracious!
Well, not
Shots
like that. I
fired.
bet you he knows what it is, but like
Wow!
the way I run it, I bet you he
Wow!
doesn't know.
Well, I've
I
watched
Okay,
cannot
Jeremy
wait.
play, and I don't think he cares what you're doing on the defensive side of the ball. So,
Oh my
I
goodness!
mean, let me ask you a question, man. Do you make TikTok videos? Because you need to be making your own TikTok videos. I mean, you need to be
I've
like,
made 3 TikTok videos, and one of them went viral.
Smitty,
oh,
does
So I'm
Smitty
technically
follow him?
TikTok famous.
Yeah, Smitty's a big TikTok guy.
I made like a what do you call those?
Oh,
the
yeah.
problem is I can't
When you
search your
remake one of
username.
those funny videos, like those stupid videos.
Yeah, I can't search
Lingus
your
out
username on
here.
TikTok.
A skit. It's called a skit. I recreated a skit
Lingus out
of
here
like this
talking.
person in public, and they were like trying to record someone because they were recording them, and they had like the phone the wrong way. It was just stupid, but it worked.
Sounds like it.
Hilarious.
It
Yeah,
does sound stupid.
hilarious.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyhow, okay, young man, I like the confidence. The next game we have is going to be the Oregon Ducks traveling to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, I think this is one of the more intriguing games because we talked about it earlier. Could a maybe lopsided loss for Oregon knock him out of the CFP? Here's the way I see it. I think Oregon's going to win the game. I know that's a one-off. It sounds crazy, but I just think he has the speed to keep it explosive and close, pause, or whatever you guys say. And I think that he's not going to return a kick for a touchdown, but he's going to just have the more big plays. And I think he's going to play his way into the playoff. I just have a weird feeling about this one. I don't think Ohio State has really been challenged this year by anybody, and this will easily be the best team he's played. And I just think Oregon wins it like on the final drive of the game. So give me Oregon by 3, game-winning field goal.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I think when these two play, it's always a special teams play that eventually ends up kind of tipping the side of the game.
Yeah.
I think with it being the third season is obviously you probably aren't going to. I mean, these coaches are ready for that, and so I think it's really going to put a lot of pressure on the offensive defensive side. Oregon coming off a real those mind-boggling losses that we talk about, right? Like games he's supposed to win, he ends up losing, and so I think it'll be close. But I have Ohio State winning this one, and then obviously putting a lot of questions into place about where Oregon fits in the CFP.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all definitely agree that if Oregon wins, both. Everyone knows if Oregon wins, they're both in. But I don't know, man. I'm buying the Ohio State hype. I really am. I think sure Shell is very familiar with his team and how well they play, but D. Kennedy is as familiar as absolutely anyone of those studs he's got there. And I think Ohio State and all those talent they're sending to the draft, especially on the defense, goes out with a bang here. And I think that number 1 ranked defense flexes its muscle on that Oregon speed. And we're given some validation for their top ranking in this game, and they win a lower scoring game than you might be used to seeing from the Ducks here. So give me the Buckeyes.
let me tell you, I'm going to give it to you real simply. The newest member of America's team and God's team, Caleb Downs, makes a great play and wins the game for the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes win, and Caleb Downs is a big factor. Defensive MVP.
Okay.
Is this my turn?
Yeah, out of the chat, young man. Come on.
I was texting Devon. Okay. Sorry. Got to go with my commish. Love you, commish. Ohio State by 7. Also, Pat, how the heck do you pick Oregon and you don't pick Wake Forest? Don't get it.
Okay.
Don't see
Why
a
don't you
thinking
ask
there.
these guys who's at the top of the leaderboard in the standings this year, Lingus? Okay, so some of us see the game differently.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, you don't think your opponent knows the match coverage thing? Did you text Devin that, by the way, or is it Devon? Did I just find out today his name is Devon?
I don't know. It's Devon.
I thought it was Devon.
Devon.
That's what we should call.
Thanks,
Devon.
guys. Now he knows I'm gonna run match coverage.
Well, you
Well,
only
you said
said
it
it
didn't
7
matter.
times.
That was completely a lie, by the way. I just said I run match coverage against people that were past the ball a lot.
Sure.
I didn't say I was gonna run match this game.
The head games continue.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So Miami's just going to throw out the forward pass completely. That's what they're going to do. That's the key.
So, am I the only one on Oregon?
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful. Love it.
Big shell guy. All right.
Well, I mean, they are the best of friends. We know this. So
You got to take. It's like business. You got to take that shit out of it and just make a pick. Just saying.
moving along to Conference USA, we've got a rematch of a game that was a recent battle between the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers and possibly the best mascot in the history of sports versus the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, which, is, if there's anything weirder than having the Gamecocks as the mascot, is the fact that you're copying another school who already has it. So, I mean, that one, I don't get it. I mean, the Fighting Chickens, at least, because Delaware at least goes with the Blue Hen. So I don't know. I've got issues with the Jacksonville State mascot. Anyway, jumping on to that fact there, this previous matchup between these two teams was a 3-point battle. And you know what? I think we're going to see another one here. I think Jacksonville State's had a really strong season. They're a narrow defeat to Florida International away from being in the playoff conversation themselves. But you know what? Even though they lost to them last time, and they're going to be on the road against them again here, I got to go with my favorite mascot and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. I think they come back, they get their get back, and they win this one by 3 points.
Yeah, this is a tough one to pick, right? I think both these teams, they did just play. Jacksonville State's been a team that we've talked about in the top 25 all year. Should they be in consideration for the CFP, all those things? Lose a game they shouldn't, right? I'm just going to go with the home team here. I think Jacksonville State has some talented players on that roster. Western Kentucky and Ryan, of course, do a great job. But I'm going to go with the Gamecocks here. I'm going to go with Jacksonville State.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Jeremy. I'm going with Jacksonville State in this one too. It's going to be an interesting game because what you two touched on, they both played recently, so I think that's going to make it maybe more of a slowed down, lower scoring game. Like you said, I think Jacksonville State has the better roster. It's going to be an elite uniform matchup. Let's just get one thing very clear: that should be a great uniform game. And give me Jacksonville State again by 3, just like in the first game. Yeah, give me Jack State by 3.
Yeah, I'm with you for all the same points you guys hit on. Just played recently, close game. I have Jack State winning a really good one. This may be the best conference championship game, just game-wise.
Could be.
Yeah, it should be a close one.
I'm gonna pick Jack State by 4.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. So let's move along. Listen, this is a big game. Whoa,
Huge game.
This is a huge game now because if Chip wins this game, well, I say that. We don't really know anymore. If Chip wins this game, he's going to the CFP. But UMass...
If he loses it, though, is it a really good loss, and does he go even higher?
Penguin's been waiting all show to jump in to say that.
And Chip has to be feeling good about himself right now, right? Because these guys played back in week 9 and Chip won by 28 points. Okay.
Wow.
And listen, Bananas is a good user. I talked to Chip a couple weeks ago. He felt like this would be the matchup again. He would take UMass on again. I really wish, and listen, this is not to go down this dark path. I really wish we would have gotten a Central Michigan Florida International game just to see, right? Like that would have been a good game for him to win. But I just think a 28-point win a couple weeks ago, Give me Chip and the Chippewas, and it should put them in the CFP, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely think the Fighting Chips here are the kind of what you would call the obvious pick, and I just think he'll have too much for the UMass owner. The UMass owner is a good new addition to the league. Watch him play, so I agree with Chip, but I got to go with I got to go with the Chips in this one by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think this will probably be the worst. This sounds mean. This will be the worst of the conference championship games. I just don't think the game will be very close. I think this game actually will hurt Chip. When you're looking at the other teams that are playing in conference championship games, someone brought it up in the chat. USF wins their conference championship game. That's going to help JMU, right?
Yep, sure is. Yeah.
Chip needed to play a higher ranked team here, to kind of boost that. And so at the end of the day, I have Central Michigan winning big.
Mm-hmm.
So could we have a first tier where a team wins their conference championship game and it ends up hurting them in the end? So the one thing we can all agree on here is that conference championship games are kind of terrible. And you know what? I'm going to call on NDL leadership to regardless of what they do in real life, let's get rid of conference championship games the next game. Let's just tell them to go away and let's do our own thing and let's be visionaries. But will it happen? Probably not. Anyway, the good doctor, who I hate talking about them not being in the playoffs because Chip's a fantastic dude and an even better player sometimes. So for that, Central Michigan, and they named their score in this one. I think they win in a dominant fashion because of course they want to go to the playoffs, and I think that's going to be on their mind here, and their motivation will be at an all-time high.
I'm going to take my boy Chip by 21. Don't think it's going to be close, and I think Chip's going to run the ball all over him.
Wow, all over him. Love it.
All over him.
All right, we're heading out west here. San Diego's, well, not all the way out west. Excuse me. San Diego State coming into Boise from out west to play in a rematch. This is, by the way, Boise's best win on the year. We talked about Boise earlier. He thoroughly dominated their first time they played. He beat him 41-17, I believe that score was. And so this go around, I'm doing the thing where it is very hard to beat a good team twice. I think San Diego State is a good team. And I am actually trying to go against you would think you'd see that score the first time, 41-17. So I'm just going off that recency bias. And I'm actually going to take SDSU in this game to kind of put a little notch in the belt off of Boise's really a fantastic season. But I'm going to go with the upset here. Give me San Diego State and the points. I'm going to go on sharps and make that pick.
Man, you're talking about a Boise State team that is one play away from potentially being the G5 representative in the CFP.
Mm-hmm.
The big loss to North Carolina by a field goal on the road, and then he lost by 7 to Notre Dame, who was ranked very high in the CFP. I think this is going to end up being a game where Boise loves running the ball. He's going to end up kind of pulling away in that fourth quarter against Big Z. And these guys have played a lot, so these guys are very familiar with each other. So
right.
Yeah, I think we've got just the fifth quarter off that game they played earlier in the season. I feel like Boise State had, for me not feeling like they should be ranked because they don't have any wins to hang their hat on in my mind. I still think they're definitely the stronger team playing better in here, and I think they cruise in this one.
Yep, Broncos big.
Prove them wrong, Z. Hi, Lingus.
Am I last again?
Yes,
every time.
Every time.
Well, I couldn't remember if Penguin went yet or not. I'm gonna take Rockefeller by 3, just because their team's better, and that's what I think it's gonna come down to.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. All right. Jumping over to the Sun Belt. We've got the James Madison Dukes trying to cap out a 13-0 season. It's seen some close calls along the way, but they have gotten it done. And Louisiana Monroe, 10 wins of their own as their opponent. They've had a really good passing attack and running attack here with a quarterback with a fantastic touchdown to interception ratio and a 1,400-yard rusher. This is one of those matchups I think is going to be very high scoring. But in the end, James Madison has basically a few more bullets in the chamber. They've got some actual stars in that running back, and I believe at wide receiver. And I believe that will prove to be the difference in this one when it comes down to it. And they pull out a 14-point victory here over the Warhawks.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is any kind of drama or controversy that doesn't directly involve me. I'm pulling for James Madison to win because I want to see what happens here. If we get, I have Michigan, I have Miami winning, sorry, but if Wake wins and JMU wins and CMU wins, I want to know what happens next. But I think JMU's the better team. JMU wins.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting game. I would tell you right now, if this game was a couple blocks ago, I would have maybe picked UL Monroe, but I've watched them in their last two games, and they've struggled with turnovers. And I think this JMU team, if you look at JMU's offensive stats, it's kind of fascinating. There's no one that really pops off the page. They just are very good with the football. Only 6 turnovers, it looks like, on the year. I would take that in a heartbeat. So I just think JMU doesn't turn it over, and I think he wins, and I hope that he makes a statement so we can fix whatever, committee. You can admit sometimes we make a mistake. It just doesn't make sense. He should be ahead of Central Michigan, and I hope he boosts himself in front.
Yeah, you kind of hit it on the point. Talk about a disappointing a team that couldn't handle the pressure at the end of the season, right? We're 2 weeks removed from talking about how ULM has a shot to beat JMU and play in the CFP, right? That was a big G5 game of the year, right? Obviously, still a big chance for Coach Jared there to pull a huge upset of James Madison. Don't think it's going to happen. I think James Madison wins because of the defensive side of the ball, right? I think that's going to be the biggest difference. And so I have JMU in.
I'm going to take JMU and Glizzysaurus by 10. I personally think ULM's kind of a fraud.
Wow.
Hasn't proved as much as JMU has, but I mean that in a nice way. He's probably still a good user.
In a nice
Not
way.
as good as Glizzy.
God dang it, you're ugly, but in a nice way.
That's like that's someone telling you, well, I would go out with you, but you got a great personality, but it's just not for me. That's what that is.
But you're miserable to be around. Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Dynamite drop, Blinkus.
Well, gentlemen, there you have it. Miami and Wake Forest will be hitting off at the end of the game day show here live. Conference Championship ACC. Good luck, Mr. Sergeant Lingus. Thanks for coming on the show. And again, happy birthday belated.
Thank you.
Go prove us wrong.
I will. And then I'm going to make fun of you afterwards.
Please do.
Wow.
Please
wow,
do.
Wow.
Make
expect nothing less.
Yeah, make a skit on TikTok. That'd be great.
That wouldn't be skittable.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I love Skittles. Hey, Jeremy, have a good weekend. I know you're hanging out with the wife. Wife really needs you to brush your teeth. So yeah, we better get going. Pat, have a good weekend, man. Penguin, same to you, gentlemen. And man, next week, next Saturday, game day show will be revealing the final CFP for the season and stuff. Should be a lot of fun.
Peace.
All right, see you guys.